So, imagine being demoted not just by your political party, but also publicly told that your new job is basically meaningless, by your own political bestie. Well, that's exactly what's happened to Floyd Shivambu, the former Secretary General of the EFF, and now, apparently, just another face in Parliament. And the man dropping that spicy political shade, none other than Julius Malema himself.
I don't work with Floyd anyway. Parliament or soccer match or anything. I don't work with Floyd. I'm going into a Floyd. So I'm not getting involved. I am in. So it's not a problem. We are in Parliament. We are working in Parliament, and that's it. If he comes to Parliament, he will find us rolling. The Parliament now is run by young boys. Young people are running that thing. And if he comes then thinks he can impose himself on them, they are already ready for him. So you can be rest assured he will not do anything that can undermine the superior logic of the EFF in that Parliament.
Koruleni.
I didn't see the letter. Or maybe so you must... I didn't see the letter.
It just came out now.
When we're here?
President, when we're here.
Okay.
Literally at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
But it's a request by council to afford an opportunity to run a process to appoint a new city manager on the basis that... So the request for her to take a special leave is on the basis that her contract comes to an end in August. Yeah. And that's genuinely what the request is. So it's a request to ask of her. And also on the panel, we have been on the panel before as the EFF, the current city manager was appointed, the EFF was a part of it. We're an integral part of the council city with a serious voice there. So it was expected as well that we form part of it, and the mayor is the chairperson of the particular committee.
Ordinarily, when you take leave or when you are about to leave a position, it should come from you voluntarily that I will take a long leave so that I'm not seen to be on the way of what people are trying to do. It's not something we're hearing it for the first time. I mean, former Chief Justice Mogoeng took a long leave when his term was coming to an end. And there was nothing wrong with that. But the CM of Ekurhuleni has been a very good woman. She led from the front. Most of those clean audits and delivery and the awards that are being won by Ekurhuleni, it was under her leadership. I think we're going to miss her, and I hope she will not keep too much distance, but rather keep close contact and continue to advise, because she comes with a lot of wisdom and experience. She's a mother. We all call her mama because she has earned it. When you work with people in a dignified way, in a polite way, giving us direction. I mean, when we went to Ekurhuleni municipality, she held our hand and showed us the way and how things are done. Unfortunately, age is no longer on her side. She will have to now go on retirement, and we wish her well. We wish her good health, and we hope she will continue to make a positive contribution wherever she's going.
Yep, this is not just your average reshuffle. This is South African politics with extra peri-peri. Now let's break it down, because what just went down here is more than a simple redeployment. This is a political soap opera with religious controversy, constitutional violations, and an unexpected cameo from a controversial pastor who's currently dodging South African justice. We're talking about none other than Shepherd Bushiri, the self-proclaimed prophet, currently living large in Malawi, and somehow dragging South African politics into his orbit. Buckle up, folks, this one's got it all. So here's the scene. Julius Malema, firebrand leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, is standing outside the Pretoria home of the late actor Presley Chweneyagae. The nation is mourning a beloved performer, but Julius Malema, he's got some political heat to drop. Asked about Floyd Shivambu being moved from the position of Secretary General to a regular old Member of Parliament, Malema doesn't sugarcoat it. His response: it's immaterial. He will not match the leadership of the EFF that is deployed there. Immaterial. That's politician speak for, that guy ain't important anymore. Now pause right there. If you've followed South African politics even casually, you know Julius and Floyd have been seen as a tight political duo. The revolutionary twins. The Bonnie and Clyde of red overalls. So this public distancing is no small matter. We're not just witnessing a reshuffle, we're watching a political brotherhood go up in flames. But what caused this rift? Why is Floyd being subtly benched? And what does this mean for the future of the EFF and the broader South African political landscape? Let's rewind the tape. It all starts with Floyd Shivambu taking a little trip, not to Parliament, not to a rally, but to Malawi. And not just for a holiday or a diplomatic visit. No, Floyd went to visit Prophet Shepherd Bushiri. You might remember Bushiri, the flashy preacher with a private jet, luxury cars, and a knack for disappearing just before facing trial. South African authorities still want him to answer for a string of fraud and money laundering charges. But instead of being in the dock, Bushiri's been hosting guests in Malawi, including, apparently, Mr. Shivambu. Now according to the MK party's constitution, which, to be fair, Shivambu isn't officially bound by, but we'll get into that in a second, meeting with a fugitive from South African law enforcement, especially one accused of fleecing the public, is a big no-no. And if that sounds like common sense, it's because it is. It's political suicide to align yourself with someone seen as exploiting vulnerable South Africans in the name of religion. But here's where it gets extra spicy. Shivambu didn't just drop by for tea. This wasn't an accidental run-in at a Malawian KFC. No, this was a deliberate visit to someone who's persona non grata in South Africa. The optics, horrible. The implications, even worse. It sparked a storm of backlash, not only from opposition parties but from within the EFF ranks too. And that's when Julius stepped in to make it very clear, Floyd is not speaking or acting on behalf of the EFF. Now, what's really fascinating here is the timing. The EFF has been trying to position itself as a serious contender for national leadership. After years of being viewed as the radical outliers, Malema and crew have been pushing for more credibility and discipline in their ranks. So for someone like Shivambu, the party's second in command, to be gallivanting with a fugitive pastor. Yeah, that kind of throws a red beret into the whole operation. So Malema, in true Julius fashion, didn't mince words. Floyd is being redeployed to Parliament, he says, but that's immaterial. He won't match the leadership that's already there. That's political talk for, we gave him a corner office with no windows and a phone that doesn't ring. And it's not just a demotion, it's a message. A message to everyone watching, inside and outside the EFF, that no one is above party discipline. That even founding members are not immune to consequences. And more than anything, that Julius Malema is still the captain of this ship, and nobody, absolutely nobody, is going to steer it off course. But let's talk about what this means for Floyd Shivambu going forward. Is this the beginning of the end for him politically? Will he quietly accept his seat in Parliament, make speeches nobody listens to, and fade into the background? Or is he planning a comeback, maybe even outside the EFF? It's too early to say. But what's clear is that his credibility has taken a serious knock. And in South African politics, where public perception can make or break a career, this is not just a bad week, it could be a fatal blow. Especially considering that Julius Malema didn't just sidestep the issue, he lit it on fire and then walked away. And let's not forget the Bushiri factor. Because this whole scandal has reopened uncomfortable conversations about the intersection of politics and religion in South Africa. Why are politicians fraternizing with self-proclaimed prophets who've been accused of robbing the very people they claim to serve? Are these spiritual alliances about faith, or about power and influence? And should political parties be doing more to draw a firm line between state matters and church drama? Because if you look beyond the headlines, this story is about much more than a single visit to Malawi. It's about the credibility of South Africa's institutions. It's about how seriously political leaders take their responsibility to act in the public's best interest. And it's about how dangerous it can be when politics gets entangled with unaccountable religious figures who operate outside the rule of law. Now back to Malema. You might think this is just Julius being Julius, always outspoken, always dramatic, always playing to the gallery. But this moment felt different. It felt calculated. It felt like a purge. And if you know your political history, When a leader starts purging the inner circle, it's not just about punishment, it's about control. It's about reshaping the party in their image. And in this case, it's about saying, the F is evolving. And if you can't keep up, you get left behind. Even if your name is Floyd. So what should we be watching for next? For starters, whether Floyd responds publicly. He's been relatively quiet since the redeployment was announced. No fiery Twitter threads, no passionate interviews, just radio silence. That could be a sign that he's taking the hit and lying low. Or it could mean he's regrouping for something bigger. Then there's the question of who fills the vacuum. With Floyd effectively sidelined, who rises in the F ranks? Will we see a new generation of leadership emerge? More disciplined, more image conscious, maybe even more moderate? Or will Malema continue to rule with an iron fist, using these shakeups to solidify his grip on the party?